Damn, they trying to get all amigos up out of here, right? It's being reported that Offset was shot near Florida casino. Y'all know Offset always was at the damn casino. That man like gambling, fool. They said they transported him to the hospital where he's in stable condition with non-life threatening injuries. So somebody probably gave him a little
update on Offset getting popped. Lil TJ is now sitting in Broward County Jail with 2 charges. 1 for operating without a license and 2 for disorderly conduct. Also, Lil TJ was not popped, only Offset. Academics and other news outlets got it wrong. But now the claims are Lil TJ got beat up by Offset outside the casino, and when Offset turned around, they popped him in the butt.
Rapper Offset has reportedly been shot at the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Police say the shooting occurred at around 7 p.m. during what appeared to be a normal evening at the casino. According to officials, law enforcement responded rapidly, securing the scene within minutes. 2 individuals believed to be involved in the incident have been taken into custody, though authorities have not yet clarified their roles or whether additional suspects may be connected.
On April 6, 2026, chaos broke out at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, after a shooting reportedly sent Offset to the hospital, while Lil TJ's name suddenly started getting dragged into the middle of the investigation. Now, the internet is going crazy as new details keep popping up, and some reports are even claiming Lil TJ could be connected to what happened, though nothing has been officially proven yet. The situation has taken a wild turn, and people online cannot stop talking about it. In this video, we are breaking it all down piece by piece. What really went down, what new information is coming out, and why this story is blowing up all over social media right now. This situation sounds unreal, and the details got people shocked. Monday evening, just after 7 p.m., something serious went down outside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Offset, the 34-year-old former Migos rapper, was reportedly shot near the valet area, turning a normal night into a scary scene real fast. TMZ was the first to break the news, and within minutes, the whole hip-hop scene online was talking about it non-stop. Offset's team later confirmed he was taken to the hospital, saying he was getting treatment, was stable, and doctors were keeping a close eye on him.
If you guys remember, TJ said if you ever catch Offset outside, he was going to get it because Offset owed him 10K. Yeah, that backfired. The issue I'm having is they're not only giving you disorderly conduct for popping somebody. He's supposed to get another charge. So I'm not sure if his homie popped Offset after the altercation. Like in rare cases, you could call self-defense because you were fighting and you whipped out that pipe, and then the officers could give you disorderly conduct because this happened in a public area with people. But last time I checked, Lil TJ's a felon, and I'm pretty sure they would have hit him with a felony charge for having the firearm in the first place. Again, I'm gonna wait till more news come out and update y'all, but as far as we know, Offset beat up Lil TJ, and then he got popped in the butt because of it, allegedly. That's crazy. Get your squabbles up.
Seminole police also confirmed the incident happened outside the casino valet area after 7 p.m., saying one person suffered injuries that were not life-threatening and was taken to Memorial Regional Hospital. Police also said 2 people were detained while they tried to figure out exactly what happened, and they made it clear there was no danger to the public. Then things got even crazier when DJ Academics jumped on Kick that same night and claimed Lil TJ was also shot during the same incident, adding even more mystery to an already shocking situation. Reports started saying the shooting may have happened after things got heated during a physical fight between the 2 rappers, turning a tense moment into straight chaos. Videos started floating around online showing the wild aftermath, people running around, security rushing in, and confusion everywhere. But this is where the story started getting messy, and people did not know what to believe. Seminole police later released an official statement saying there was only one victim, which didn't match what DJ Academics was saying during his live stream. That contradiction had social media detectives working overtime trying to figure out what was real and what was just talk. Not long after, Academics walked back part of what he originally said and gave a new update. He explained that Lil TJ was not shot after all, but claimed TJ was taken into custody and that his detention was connected to the situation involving Offset. That update only made things feel even more serious. Then another wild claim entered the chat. According to reports shared through Academics TV on X, Seti Nash told a story saying Lil TJ allegedly shot Offset after a physical situation between them. The story claimed Offset supposedly got the upper hand in a fight and walked away. And that is when TJ allegedly pulled out a weapon and fired. These claims spread fast online, but it is important to remember none of this was officially confirmed. If that version of events was ever proven true, it could mean major legal problems. But right now, it remains unverified talk without clear sources. Nobody involved in the official investigation confirmed that version of the story.
What's up?
Did Offset at the casino?
Offset owe you money?
I don't do no damn
Hey
fighting.
man, you just want to tell us what happened?
Did I shoot Offset? It's crazy.
They're saying you were disorderly outside
he
the
put his
casino. There
hands
was a
on
fight
you
near the
first?
I
valet.
smacked the guy on Offset. He would never play with me like that in his life. Ask
Somebody
Offset.
owe you- does somebody
Ask
owe you
Offset.
money?
Fight?
Ask Offset.
To really understand how things even got this tense, you have to rewind back to January 2025. The issues between Lil TJ and Offset reportedly did not start over music or relationships, but over money. Reports say it began over about $10,000 connected to casino gambling. Lil TJ even went live on Twitch back then and accused Offset of owing him money, claiming he loaned him around $10,000 that was never paid back, putting their private business right into the public spotlight. The story Lil TJ told was detailed and had people raising their eyebrows. He described seeing Offset inside a casino looking stressed, allegedly asking different people for Cash App help like he was in a tight spot. TJ claimed he stepped in and loaned Offset $5,000, while also saying Cardi B's estranged husband was asking others around the casino for money too. According to TJ's version of events, he said he watched Offset take that first $5,000 and quickly lose it back on the casino floor. TJ also claimed Offset later got another $3,000 from different people, including $1,000 he allegedly borrowed from a woman at the casino. TJ then said he added another $5,000 himself, saying the total money he gave kept stacking up, but according to him, he never got paid back. What really made this blow up online was not just the money claims, but how TJ talked about it. He did not just say Offset owed him cash, he publicly called him broke and even suggested he had serious gambling problems. Those words hit hard because Offset built his image around success, luxury, and big wins, talking about expensive watches, private jets, and a lifestyle many young fans looked up to. TJ spoke straight into the camera during that Twitch stream with the confidence of someone who felt he was exposing something nobody else would say out loud. He pointed at what he claimed was Offset's behavior, the urgent phone calls asking people for help and what he described as desperation, and used that to question Offset's public image. His message was clear. He believed the lifestyle people saw online was not the full story. Offset eventually responded with a warning tone, suggesting TJ might have been talking about the wrong person. But TJ did not back down, and the tension stayed active online. Soon after, screenshots of alleged DMs between the two started spreading across social media. In those messages, TJ reportedly warned Offset he would smack the whole shit out of him if he did not get his money back, while Offset replied, "Gotta be the wrong Naya," keeping the exchange tense and full of attitude. The messages between them got real disrespectful real fast.
Multiple sources confirmed that Offset sustained injuries during the shooting. Fortunately, those injuries have been described as non-life-threatening. He was transported to a nearby hospital shortly after the incident and is currently reported to be in stable condition, receiving medical care. Witnesses at the scene described the stark contrast between the moments before and after the shooting. Just minutes earlier, Offset was seen interacting with fans, taking photos, and engaging casually with the crowd.
At one point, the exchange included threats like, "You texting boy, I'll smoke you. You barely lived already. Who'd if you think you're talking to?" That line, "barely lived already," hit especially hard because many people saw it as a reference to Lil TJ surviving 7 gunshot wounds back in 2022. That comment touched a nerve across the hip-hop community because everyone remembered just how serious that situation really was. After that heated exchange, things went quiet for a while, but the tension never really disappeared. Then in March 2026, the drama popped off again when TJ posted photos on Instagram showing off flashy jewelry and throwing subtle shots that many believed were aimed straight at Offset. The post suggested Offset was struggling financially, which only added more heat to an already tense situation. Offset did not ignore it either. He responded publicly on Instagram, basically saying they should settle things face to face instead of going back and forth online. His message reportedly said, "Let's hit on live. I'll fly to you. This ain't gone. Stop the fell off allegations. Meet me in New York and give me a one-on-one live."
He owe you money?
Ask Offset.
Do you have issues with Offset?
I don't know. What happened?
He's in the hospital right now, but he's
The
okay.
last thing I seen was Offset looking at me like this. Yo, that shot me. That shot me. La la la. The rat, cat, weirdos. Y'all in a good ass interview. I'm walking to my car like.
What started the fight?
The challenge sounded like he wanted to handle things in front of everyone instead of behind screens. Fans online quickly turned it into entertainment, picking sides, arguing in comments, and even joking about who would win if they really fought. Nobody expected that. Instead of a live stream showdown, things would later connect to a real-life incident at a casino valet in Florida. To really understand Lil TJ's story, you also have to look back at what happened in Edgewater, New Jersey on June 22nd, 2022. The recent situation did not come out of nowhere. TJ is someone who has experienced violence before, and at that time, he was known as a victim who survived a terrifying shooting, not someone accused of causing harm. Born Tay Jaden Merritt on April 30th, 2001, Lil TJ grew up in the Fordham area of the Bronx, New York. He was raised by a single mother alongside his two younger siblings and has openly talked about being the most rebellious kid in the family. TJ admitted he got into trouble as a teenager, including small robberies and fights at school. At just 15 years old, he was arrested for robbery and spent about a year in a youth detention center. It was during that difficult time he started writing rap lyrics, turning his experiences into music and trying to change his path. That time in juvenile detention ended up changing Lil TJ's whole direction. While he was locked up, he started writing music seriously and created the song Resume, which he later dropped on SoundCloud. That track started building buzz around his name and helped push him toward what would eventually become a deal with Columbia Records. His momentum kept growing after his 2017 breakout with Resume. But things really took off after his 2018 track Brothers, which went triple platinum according to the RIAA. That success showed he was not just another artist trying to make noise, he was becoming a real voice in New York hip-hop. Then in 2019, he reached a whole new level when he featured on Polo G's hit, Pop Out, which became his first song to land on the Billboard Hot 100, climbing all the way to number 11. That moment put him in front of a much bigger audience and proved he could hang with the biggest names. His second studio album, Destined to Win, kept that momentum alive, especially with the single Calling My Phone featuring 6 Lack, which reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2021. By that point, Lil TJ was seen as one of the most recognizable young artists coming out of New York, known for his melodic sound, emotional lyrics, and a fan base that stayed loyal. Then everything nearly changed on June 22nd, 2022. Merritt was shot 7 times during an attempted robbery in Edgewater, New Jersey, in a situation that shocked fans everywhere. He had to be rushed by helicopter to Hackensack University Medical Center, where doctors performed emergency surgery to save his life. Reports said he suffered multiple gunshot wounds to his upper body during the early morning incident at a shopping center, leaving him in critical condition. Rumors started spreading online claiming he was paralyzed or in a coma, but many of those reports turned out to be false. Weeks later, positive updates finally started coming out. Sources confirmed TJ was awake and able to talk, doctors removed his breathing tube, and his voice was still strong. Months later, he even posted a video on Instagram speaking directly to his supporters, showing he was still standing and still fighting. He said words that would end up defining the next phase of his life and career. After surviving the shooting, he told fans, 7 shots. Most people don't survive it, but I'm here for a reason. That moment became part of his comeback story, and his motivation sounded stronger than ever. Not long after, he released the single Beat the Odds, where he talked about his near-fatal experience and the long road back to recovery. The song gave fans a raw look into what he went through physically and mentally, and it showed a different side of him that people had not fully seen before. By September 2022, just months after almost losing his life, he stepped back on stage for his first performance since the shooting. The comeback had people calling it inspiring, but behind the scenes, the physical pain and mental pressure did not just disappear. Scars like that do not simply vanish overnight. TJ came back into the music world more alert about the dangers that can follow artists in the spotlight. He spoke openly about dealing with PTSD and the mental pressure that comes after surviving something that serious. He carried himself like someone who knew life could change in seconds after what happened in that parking lot, yet he still pushed forward with his career. That is what made the 2026 situation hit different. Years after surviving gun violence, his name was now being connected to another shooting situation in a completely different state. Only this time, the rumors were pointing at him in a very different way, which made the headlines even more shocking. As soon as news about the Hard Rock incident dropped, social media exploded with reactions. Offset's fame, their already public tension, and the high-profile casino location all mixed together into a trending story that spread everywhere fast. TMZ first reported that Offset had been shot near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Then DJ Academics became the main voice talking about the Lil TJ side of the situation. While TMZ focused mostly on Offset's condition, Academics talked about TJ's reported involvement, creating two very different conversations online. At first, Academics claimed Lil TJ had also been shot, but later corrected himself saying TJ was not shot but was reportedly in custody. That sudden switch from TJ was shot to TJ was not shot but detained left people confused and questioning what was really happening behind the scenes. All the different stories flying around created massive confusion, and social media only made it louder. Rumors started spreading about how the situation started, who may have made the first move, who was responsible, and whether that alleged gambling debt really started all this drama. Everybody online seemed to have their own version of the story, even though official facts were still limited. Quavo, Offset's longtime Migos collaborator, also reacted and shared prayers for his former group member. His response hit fans emotionally because people know how much that group already went through together. The Migos trio, Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff, had already been shaken by tragedy after Takeoff was fatally shot in Houston in November 2022. So hearing that another member of the group was dealing with gun violence again made the situation feel even heavier. Fans who followed their journey understood this was more than just headlines. It was real-life pain connected to a group that once ran the rap game. People could not ignore the sad pattern either. A group that once celebrated success, hits, and cultural influence was now being mentioned in connection with multiple violent incidents involving two of its three members. That reality hit hard for supporters who remembered their rise. Then 6ix9ine, also known as Tekashi 6ix9ine, jumped into the conversation with his usual attention-grabbing online behavior. Fresh out of prison, he posted, "Lol, I'm clout chasing right now," and even shared a video that appeared to show him driving toward the area where the incident reportedly happened. His actions got backlash, but honestly did not surprise many people who have followed his history online. He has built a reputation for inserting himself into trending hip-hop drama, especially during serious moments, often to keep attention on himself. His involvement only added more noise to an already chaotic situation filled with rumors and half-confirmed information. What really made things messy online was how fast people decided the alleged $10,000 gambling issue must have been the cause of everything. That idea spread like wildfire, even though investigators were still reviewing security footage from the casino and nearby businesses to figure out what actually happened. At that point, a lot of talk was still just speculation, not confirmed facts. People all over Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok started building their own detailed theories about what may have happened in that valet area. They pulled together months of online tension between the two rappers, the alleged $10,000 loan drama, the Instagram shots, and Offset's challenge to fight on livestream. All these pieces got mixed together into one storyline that sounded convincing online, but might not actually match what investigators will eventually confirm. At the same time, Lil TJ's team stayed completely quiet about the situation. There were no statements, no posts, and nothing on his social media showing where he was or what was going on. That kind of silence got people talking even more, because when someone at the center of a major situation suddenly disappears online, many assume lawyers are involved and telling them to stay quiet. And if the story shared by Seti Nash was even partly true, the claim that TJ allegedly fired after a physical confrontation, then the possible legal consequences could be extremely serious. But it is important to stress again that these claims remain unconfirmed and part of online discussion, not official findings. Here is what has actually been confirmed so far. Offset was injured in a shooting in Hollywood, Florida, and was taken to the hospital where he was reported to be in stable condition with injuries that were not life-threatening. Police confirmed 2 people were detained as part of the investigation. DJ Academics also reported that Lil TJ was in custody and that his reported detention was connected to the same incident. However, official law enforcement updates have been limited about his exact status. Seti Nash also claimed that Offset and TJ had a physical confrontation before the shooting. But again, that version of events has not been officially confirmed and no clear sources were provided. What still remains unknown is just as important. There has been no confirmed information about whether Lil TJ has been formally charged, what exact charges could exist if any, or whether any court decisions have been made. Right now, many of the biggest questions still do not have official answers. As of the time this is being recorded, the full motive and exact chain of events behind the shooting are still being investigated by Hollywood, Florida law enforcement. Detectives are actively reviewing surveillance footage from inside the casino and nearby businesses, trying to piece together exactly what led up to the gunfire. Right now, officials have not publicly announced any charges connected to the case. There has also been no confirmed sentence or official legal outcome reported by police or any verified news sources. At this stage, a lot of what people are saying online is still speculation while investigators continue their work. What can be discussed is the possible legal angle if some of the online claims ever turned out to be true. For example, if the story shared by Seti Nash was accurate and Offset was walking away when the shot was fired, legal experts say that could make a self-defense claim very difficult under Florida law. Florida's Stand Your Ground law usually requires someone to reasonably believe they are in immediate danger of serious harm. If someone is no longer an active threat and is leaving the situation, that could seriously weaken any argument about self-defense. That detail alone could change everything depending on what investigators confirm. That difference, whether someone was still a threat or had already stepped away, could be the line between a self-defense argument or much more serious charges like attempted murder. And in Florida, attempted murder charges can carry extremely heavy penalties that could mean decades behind bars if someone is convicted. There is also discussion about TJ's past legal situations being part of the bigger picture people are talking about. Back in January 2023, he was arrested in the Bronx after a traffic stop where police found a handgun in a vehicle he was in. His attorney, Don Florio, argued the weapon did not belong to him and claimed the search was not done properly. By May 2025, reports said TJ beat those gun cases, meaning he did not have any active firearm charges hanging over him before this situation. Still, being connected to a new investigation involving a shooting, especially one involving a Grammy-nominated and globally known artist like Offset, would bring a completely different level of legal pressure and public attention. The weight of this situation goes way beyond any courtroom drama. This is a 24-year-old artist who survived 7 gunshot wounds back in 2022, fought his way back from the edge, dropped music about beating the odds, and rebuilt his name step by step. He looked straight into the camera and told fans, "I'm here for a reason," and people believed him. That is why the twist in this story feels so unreal to many people watching. The same artist once known as a survivor is now being talked about as the alleged shooter in a completely different situation. That irony is not lost on fans who followed his journey from pain to comeback. For Offset, the road ahead physically seems more straightforward. Reports say his injuries are not life-threatening and he is expected to recover. But for Lil TJ, the future looks a lot more uncertain right now as the investigation continues and questions still hang in the air. Authorities are still working to figure out exactly what happened, and it is still unknown if this situation will lead to formal charges, a trial, or anything beyond the investigation stage. Right now, nothing is finalized, and the legal process is still playing out. But if evidence ever supported the version of events being discussed online, a fight followed by gunfire after someone stepped away, then the legal consequences could be life-changing. Situations like that can bring consequences that no chart-topping song, no comeback moment, and no fan support can simply erase. If you want more updates as this story develops, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Stay locked in because this story is still unfolding and more details could drop at any time.